Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space, and I just thought I'd turn the camera on because I was going to have a look at the number 11, day 11 of the Junk Journal July prompts, which is fussy cutting. And so I thought I'd have a look at that. I've done a stamp collage here with old world stamps and also representing all the people that watch the channel from the different countries of their, where they live, because people have been sending in saying where they're from. South Africa has written in, so I have subscribers in South Africa as well. So I just had a little look at my stamp collection and I found two possible stamps. The stamps from South Africa that I've managed to find. Okay, so we have the bird. So the first one is a shrike bird from South Africa, and that could go there. They are songbirds, and they're also they're quite predatorial birds. They are quite aggressive, so I was a little bit concerned that it might upset my bees and my butterfly. And I don't want to offend the koala bear, so I'm not sure about that one. Also the colour, I've got red up here, red here, and it just flows through nicely. And we've also got the bright red lettering there, which I don't want to lose because it says the word partially says the word Commonwealth. We've got a lot of Commonwealth countries here, so I'm going to put that aside for 1 minute because I just think that this vintage, really old zebra should just go there, and that's South Africa. So there we are, and that is 2p, so that is tuppence, and that is the zebra. So tuppence, the zebra, is going to live there. And so, just to finish off this one, I'm putting that in there, and if any other country comes up, I think we might need to go over the page. But plenty of space for everybody, and I could do another one up there, another one there. Room for everybody. Isn't that that's an African saying, isn't it? There's always room for one more. So there we go. Thank you, and hello, and welcome, and thank you for watching South Africa. Woohoo! Right, fussy cutting now today. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at this index card here. I often think it's quite nice to add things into the journal rather than just doing it straight onto the page. So I just want to knock down the white, and I'm using a frayed burlap ink here. So frayed burlap, squirt of water, nice and watered down, and just add the card there. Get it covered, and then it's like a coffee stain. It is more of an expensive way of doing it long term, I suppose, than just using up a coffee, but then coffee does add a smell to your project that you may not like. It's not for everybody. I find tea is a bit better, much nicer. You don't get that stale coffee smell going forward as the papers sit in a cupboard somewhere or in a book or journal. You can get a coffee smell that isn't pleasant, so this is a good alternative. Next thing I want to do is use my oxide ink with a stencil. I'm just using my ink brush here, which is a makeup brush, and just gently, very lightly, I don't want it too dark, just a light brush over the images that I've got here. I just like the idea that I have a bit of blue up in this top section here. Oh, that's great. Maybe the bottom section as well. I'm going to go a bit darker over the top of that blue there, and there as well. That's okay. Right, good. That just gives me a nice sort of background texture. I just wanted it a bit bolder because I've just got a little idea now to cover it with some tissue paper, and I just want that to be able to shine through. I've got a children's clear school glue, which is a white PVA glue. It's just sort of like the Elmer's glue, but a clear one, if I can open it. Water soluble, solvent free, non-toxic. They're just basic glue. If you've watched my other videos, I do like to add essential oil to my projects just to bring some scent So that was a small amount of glue, so there's 2 drops of lavender oil. If you have any allergies, please be careful. You can always wear a glove if you want to have a go at this. It is a fantastic way to add some scent to your project and then add another sensory element to your journal. And here I have some vintage sewing paper, pattern paper, and I'm just going to put this down. You may have seen this technique before. So this technique is used quite widely. I've seen lots of people doing this, and I think the main contributor who uses this particular technique with the sewing over the top with the glue. She's brilliant. Does lots of things with playing cards. She did the 52 deck challenge last year. This is old vintage music paper, vintage photo ink here. Just dab round. All right, I'll put it up there so we get a bit of this, and just paste that down. And I am going to put that over the top of it with what's left of this glue. I could tear it, thinking about it, just to get more of a interesting edge and not a cut sharp harsh edge. So that's quite a nice thing to do. There we go. And really we want that dry. We could run a warm iron over it as well. And that gives us that. The next thing I think I'm going to do is to fussy cut this bird out, this one here. And I shall just free him from the rest of the page, so we can just work on that. This is from Birds of the World book, and I was sent some pages from a friend. I don't like cutting up books. It really doesn't sit right with me. But if they're damaged or someone else has pulled them apart, then that's okay. But I just am still struggling with that, particularly if they're a vintage or antique. It just feels like it could be a resource that I'm taking away from somebody else, but not all books. You can really gauge which ones are falling apart and are never going to see the light of day, and if that's the case, then that's fine. This wasn't an old book, it's something, there's lots of copies of it, and in actual fact I think it came out of storage. But you know, if these books are yours and you're not going and seeking them out, because I find that crafters promote the book, you have a look at them, look them up, and you know, sometimes they're about £15 or huge money because they're a sought after book that we're all sort of looking for. Well, that's not really what this is about. This is about finding the book for very little in a shop or a book sale, or you know, your parents' attic or something of that nature. Some old aunt that's left you a pile of old stuff, and that's what you're crafting with just because nobody else wants it. That's junk journaling. And I started this sort of idea by, you know, we had to house clearance my grandmother's home, and of course she had loads of things all squirreled away, all of her little life pieces, and then you think, oh, I don't want to throw anything away, and it's terrible, isn't it? You get a bit stuck with the sentiment of it all, and you think, oh, I'm throwing this away. Well, we had to, didn't we? You have to move on, but there are certain bits that you just think, oh, that's just too lovely. And she had lots of fabric bits and trim, and those things I now craft with, and now that I'm in a place where I'm not so sad about her passing, I enjoy using those things in my crafts, and you know, it's like a little piece of her is with me. So that's another part of junk journaling. I think a lot of us have sort of looked at our stuff from our parents or, you know, family members, and you think, well, how am I going to deal with all of that? Well, this is a way, you know, your heirloom tablecloth that now has a stain on it could have a new lease of life as a book cover. And it is your junk because it's been given to you, but you hold a load of sentiment to it. Well, give it a new lease of life, give it some other purpose, something that you're going to enjoy and appreciate, and people will see it. No one's going to see it in a box upstairs or under the bed or, you know, aging out in the garage or something. There we are, that's sweet. Now he just wants a label and maybe some flowers and things. And that white bit in between his feet, I might be able to get out. This is the real fussy bit, trying to get round the tricky areas. And often like this, you either need a really tiny pair of scissors and a steady hand and a good eye, which I don't have. I don't see so well. And yeah, otherwise you need to be a bit clever with the ink and just get in there. And I almost wish I hadn't started this bit, because then it sucks the pleasure out of it for me, and oh dear, I don't want to do it. But the payoff is good because it does look nice when it's done properly. So I'm just going to see if I've got enough ink on there just to darken all the feet area, that whole foot area down, and then just go round anywhere where I've cut, and there's a white paper line, really, that's all there is to it. So that's fussy cutting. And then, you know, we've given him a background there, and he's sort of floating around, so we have to put some other things in. Okay, so I have cut out another bird as well, just to give us options, and that is that one there. If there's a little bit of ink, just sort of emphasise the crinkles, and if you can see that, that's where we're at with that. That's quite nice, isn't it? I just want to have my oxide ink and just see if I can just lightly brush over the crinkles. So we've got this chappy here, but I don't know, I was feeling he's more seasidey. I like the blue and everything, but I've also got this one as well, and I just think that might be a bit bigger. But I'll just have a little play, because the other thing I've got, I did have a fussy cut of this, but this is where it gets to me. I need to now dye the background of that. There's no way I'm going to sit trying to get those little white bits out. So this is a digital kit from Lisa Heinzel, one of her, it could have been a freebie, or I don't know what it was really, but anyway, that's really quite impossible to fussy cut. When fussy cut's done right, it looks absolutely stunning. I'll try and leave a link to an artist on its Instagram, and her, I mean, she's just brilliant. Her fussy cutting is amazing. So if it's something that you enjoy doing, then piecing together a little scene using books and digitals is, you know, it's an absolute skill. It's not really for me, but I do enjoy the odd little bit. So I think I might go with the bigger bird on yeah, that's better, isn't it? Then I've got these, which I've cut out of a freebie kit from Line.Arrow. That was a sheet here where I've just cut the 3 labels to offer them up. So that is the Summer Bloom Celebration Facebook group freebie for Line.Arrow. That's on Facebook. I'll leave a link below, because I think there is a link to the collaboration going on at the moment for a lot of YouTube crafters. I'll leave that link for a link tree below. You can go and have a look at the freebies there, because these tickets are quite good. Maybe something like that, just coming off, and then we trim that. And same again, maybe that's interesting, like that, something like that. And that's using stickers as well, so it's another resource that if you've got such a thing but you don't know what to do with them, they are very good for this style, this sort of idea. And if you can't get washi stickers, I mean, I will leave a link on my supplies list below where I buy them, and you can see if the link works for you in your country. And that should seal in that washi tape as well. Okay, so then I'm going to put in this, leaving a border. So that's how I tackle fussy cutting. I don't enjoy it, but I love the results. I think that's so effective. And I can then, if I want to, put a sticker on there, which I like. A stamp sticker, this one is, and the other one was real, but I think on this occasion the butterfly complements the bird. And there we go, guys. So that just needs to be left to dry, and then if we're going to be really really taking it up a notch, we would then sew round the edge. And here's another one that I've made previously, where it's a similar composition with the flowers and flora and fauna behind. I've even used a black and white washi sticker to start off with, so you could use black and white stamps from the ink pad if you've got a waterproof ink pad, and then the sewing round just finishes off. But this bird is absolutely stunning. That's a digital kit from Louise Heinzel. Her images that she uses are really clear and, you know, absolutely fabulous, and it just means she's done the legwork for you. You've already found royalty-free images for you that you don't have to cut out of books. And then I've got a nice grunge background here, and that is a journaling card ready to go. So that's how to do those. So there we go. I'll sew round it and then we'll finish off, and I'll show you how it looks in the journal. And the crinkles in, which gives it an aged sort of feel. It feels, you know, the more that it's manipulated like that, the actual, I prefer it because you can see the creases. You can also see the shininess of the book page. That was more of a magazine style printed book. I did think that the PVA glue would take that shine away a little bit, but it hasn't. It's still there. And also I've got a bit here where I've fussy cut, but it's messed up the underneath label. That was me not being able to leave it alone, so that happens, and in which case we just craft our way out of it with some more labels and things like that. So that's what I'll do here. We will stick that down, and then also add this little butterfly here, one of Tim Holtz's field notes. Just a little eclectic mix of bits and bobs. Quite like the idea of a tab, and I've got this book page and a tab punch, which I never use, so I'm just going to do that. It's got quite a sturdy thickness to it, that page, and it's an old atlas. There's an atlas on the other side, so I might prefer that, or the green. And all we do with something like that, this is an EK one that really thin, packs away. It's very heavy, that's the only thing. So that's that. I think that will just go on there quite nicely. What's that? But equally it could be like this, and then because we had tabs up here, I might like the next tab to follow in and be around here, which is fine because that makes sense as to where I was thinking of putting it anyway. Stick that down with the Fabri-Tac for the fabric. It hides that line, it adds in a fluffy dimension, it's a little bit more intrigue as to why there's that there. Otherwise that just looks like a bit of paper plonked on a bit of paper. You've done nothing to make it interesting or unusual. So we just finish it off here with that on the other side, and just come round and take away any last white bits so that that has aged that and made that a real vintage piece. And there we go, guys, that's the fussy cut for today. So there we are, fussy cut and embellished index card today. Just a bit of fun. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and above all else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.